Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, September 11th, 2023. Monday, September the 11th. I'm going to the good stuff first. The good stuff. Sunny's free. We knew it, y'all. We knew it. There was some coffee beans up in them crates. The stupid feds did not open it up until the morning of the trial. How idiotic are they? That was crazy. Okay, so what happens is, Christina's the first one to get there to the trial. Then Michael shows up and she's like, thank God. I mean, where is everybody to support dad? I was thinking I was going to be the only one. And so Michael says, well, I don't know if Dante's going to make it because that could be considered a conflict of interest. So Christina was like, what conflict? That's his father. Michael said, yeah, but still, Chrissy, we don't know. And just that Michael saying that, Dante comes in. And Christina hugs him. Thank God you're here for dad. Thank God you're here for dad. So, he goes, of course I'm going to be here for dad. And so Nina shows up running in. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I had to go change into something appropriate for court. And then Diane walks in and says, great. We got family support here. That looks good to any judge, even the hardened one, right? So about that time, the top left picture, they're seeing Sonny come through the side doors in handcuffs. And they're looking at him come in, and he's just looking Sonny-ish, right? He walks over, they take the handcuffs off. Nina, Christina, and Dante go around, and Christina hugs him. Nina hugs him. Dante actually is talking to Diane, and Christina, oh my God, Dad, I'm so worried. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Dad. He goes, Christina, I got this. Okay. But Dad, these are federal, Dad, oh my goodness, this girl, right? And Nina too. Oh, Sonny was so worried. Everything will be okay. So he goes, Diane, the Fed's attorneys come in. And Diane walk around to the table where Nina, Sonny, and Christina are. And she says, listen, we don't want to piss off the prosecutors more than they need to be. Everybody needs to take their seats now. So Sonny says, well, let me speak to Dante for a minute. And Diana's like, whatever, Sonny, you're going to do what you want to do. So he says, Dante, can I speak to you for a moment? He goes, listen, I'm surprised to see you here. I really appreciate you being here. Everything is going to be okay. You can go ahead and leave now. And so Dante's like, look, I'm going to tell you like I told Mac. There is nothing in the oath I took to uphold the law says I can't come and support my father. So, yep, I'm here. And Sonny hugs him and says, you don't know how much this means to me. And Michael pretty much stayed back. But Sonny saw him. Michael looked at Sonny. Sonny looked at Michael, right? And then Michael goes out and he's talking to Dex in the hallway. And Dex is like, oh, no. But that flash drive was all damaged. Beyond repair. I don't know how they could have got it. Michael said, well, they got something, right? They got something. And so Dex is feeling like, oh my God. So he comes in after the prosecutors come in, and he sits on the opposite side of the courtroom. And he's just sitting there watching. And so the judge has the prosecutors. He says, okay, we're here, some serious charges, blah, blah, blah. And the bald-headed guy comes up and he whispers to the attorney, probably attorney general or attorney, and he whispers in his ear. So the judge says, okay, prosecution, go ahead and make your opening statement. Or it's not a trial, your plea. So then he goes, The prosecution moves to dismiss the charges without prejudice. Diane like does kind of a double take, like, wait, what? Sonny's still just sitting there. And Christina's like, wait, what does that mean? You know? And Michael is like, huh. Dante, they all like, And Nina's like, huh? So then he goes, what? The judge says, what do you mean? Dismiss the charges without prejudice. He says, well, Your Honor, the evidence that we thought, the conclusive evidence that we thought we had turned out not to be what we thought it was. And the judge says, so why are we here in court today? Like, in other words, you mean to tell me you didn't know this in advance? That you could not have dropped the charge? You caused me to have to come out. Oh, the judge told him, let me tell you something. So he looked at Sonny. He goes, well, Mr. Corinthos, since the prosecution is dropping the charges without prejudice, I must release you. Charges are dropped, Mr. Corinthos. You're free to go. And everybody's all happy. Yes, yes, yes. And the judge warns the feds, says, let me tell you, the next time you bring a case in my court, you better have all the evidence in a row. And they're like, yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. So then everybody is hugging Sonny, and Michael Michael's just watching. And they're running up, hugging him, Dad, Christina and Nina. And Dante shakes his hand, and Michael leaves the courtroom because he's calling Carly. Because he asked her before the trial, Mom, are you going to be here? And she says, Michael, I thought about it, but it's really not my place. It's really not my place anymore. So you let me know what happens. And he said, okay, right? Okay, so anyway, he leaves to call Carly to tell her. She goes, wait a minute, Michael, how could you be calling, giving me an update this fast? He said, that's because there's no trial. There's not going to be a trial. The charges were dropped against Dad. She said, wait a minute, dropped? So I guess Britt didn't tell her. Of course, Britt didn't tell her everything. She goes, dropped? He goes, yes. The feds did not have the evidence that they thought they had. So Carly's like, okay, good for Sonny. Thank you for calling me, right? So they're all getting ready. Michael leaves, and Nina, Christina and Dante leave. And Nina and Sonny are getting ready to walk out, and Dex is still standing there. So Sonny tells Nina, can I speak to Dex for a minute? And Nina said, sure. So he asked Dex, he goes, what are you doing here? Why are you not in jail with the others? He goes, and by the way, they're all going to be released, right? But why were you not on the dock? And he says, Miss Spencer called me and told me there was going to be a raid. And I ran back down to warn the others, but the raid was happening. So I got out of there. And Sonny goes, okay, no, good job. You did a good job. And so Sonny walks away with Nina, but Dex gives him this strange look. A look is in, I don't know what that look was for. Was it, did I fail the test? Should I have been arrested? Or, you know what, boss? No, he goes, but boss, why were the charges dropped? There should have been guns in the crates. Sonny looked around. He goes, no. What was in those were pikemen crates, all right. But what was in those crates were some of Corinthos finest coffee beans. And he looked at Dex, and Dex looked at him. And I'm wondering, is he thinking, so you didn't let me in on the loop, boss? You know, like, am I not in the, I don't know what it was. Because the feds, when they were talking, the guy asked the attorney asked the bald-headed guy, he says, well, what happened? He said, our usual, our informant, who's usually credible about everything else, gave us some bogus information. And obviously Corinthos switched out the guns. And I'm thinking, well, actually, pikemen, those are supposed to be weapons of mass destruction, bombs that could level a city. That's what I thought it was, remember? And so he says, yeah, they're usually credible, but they gave us some bogus information. First, and I kind of thought, are they making us think it's Dex by the way he looked at Sonny when he left? But see, here's the deal. If Dex is not on the up and up, Dex would have a copy of that flash drive. See? And Dex, the feds would have the real deal, the information that would hold up in courts. So this look that Dex is given, it means something else. But I think the writers were trying to get crafty, so now we can look and say, oh, is Dex a double agent? Is Dex a double? Dex isn't no double agent. Dex didn't know that raid was coming, right? Dex, but we'll see. We'll see. Is he thinking, oh no, is Miss Spencer going to now tell Mr. Corintho that I put a flash drive in the trash can? Well, Dex, you're not thinking. No, she wouldn't. Because how would Carly know? See, that would mean you guys are working with Carly, and Sonny doesn't know none of that. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what's going to be going on with Dex, but I was really happy with that. Maxie and the kids are moving in. You know, there's a long conversation between her and Felicia. Fast forward. Mac takes the kids to go get some stuff. They're going to barbecue, and I fast forwarded most of that. They go to Kelly's. Fast forward. Elizabeth, Finn, Violet, and Jake are at Kelly's having lunch, you know, before the big softball game, you know, the annual softball game. And Cameron wants to stay behind. And Elizabeth's like, wait, why? He goes, I have enough money for a ride share from, you know, from what I saved from his paintings. I guess he sells his paintings and whatever he does. And so she goes, but why? And he goes, well, what did he say? Something about, I'm going to be there before the game starts. And little Violet says, but you still haven't answered why. And Finn looks down at her, and Elizabeth looks down at her, and she's looking like, I want to know too, right? And so Finn says, you know what? Perhaps this is private. And Cam doesn't want to talk, not Cam. And Jake doesn't want to talk about it right now. But he's going to meet us at the game. And Elizabeth's looking at him like, Jakey, what's going on? But she says, okay, I'll see you at the game. So that was real cute. So anyway, now we have Spencer. Where is my Spencer? Spencer comes into the house. He has some gourmet, you know, charcuterie stuff, old cheese and salami or whatever, and crackers, and he's making, you know, something for him and Esme. I mean, him and Trina to eat, right? So he comes rushing in, and he's trying to set things up. And I thought, well, where's the board? Where's the at least the charcuterie plate, right? And Esme comes from the back. Why are they letting her wear the most hideous clothes on this planet? Whatever romp they had her in was horrible. Nobody her age would wear something like that. Nobody. So anyway, she says, oh my goodness, he would not go down for a nap. I didn't even have a chance to eat lunch. And I'm like, girl, you don't know how to put that baby on your hip and eat? You don't know how when you're feeding your baby, you feed yourself? Come on now, multitask. Esme, multitask. So she goes, oh, I'm so hungry. And she goes over, she goes, you bought dinner for us. And Spencer just looks at her and he's still setting it up. And she comes and she's touching the cheese. And I'm thinking, you bought dinner for them, right? For you and Esme. And then the doorbell rings. And he looks at Esme and he goes up and it's Trina. And she's ready. Hi. And she sees Esme sitting down on the couch. And she kind of looks at Esme. Right? I'm thinking, girl, you know she lived there. Let's not play. You know she lived there. Right? So don't get your face all bent out of shape if you are going over to Laura's house. You and Spencer want to have a romantic dinner, spend some time together. Do you think you should be there? No. No. Spencer, get a room at the Metro Court. You get $10,000 a week from your trust fund. Get your own little apartment, little love nest, do something. You don't have to stay there, which is why Metro Court might be a better option, right? Because at least they got they got housekeepers and everything else, because you won't be staying there. So Esme looks and she realized it wasn't for her. So she stands up and she goes, oh, I'm going to go get Ace and I'll get his baby stuff and I'll take him out. And so Spencer says, oh, there's enough food for all of us. You could stay and have something to eat. And Trina looks at him like, what's just happening here? So she goes, no. I'm going to get him and we're going to get out of your hair. So she gets him, she takes him out. She takes him to Kelly's, right? And she comes up to Carly and she goes, and look, there's little Ace. I said, cuteness in the house. Looking at his little tongue. That is the cutest baby on this planet. Ah, those twins. Cuteness in the house. You see what Esme's wearing? What is that? And then, hey, everybody, let's check out baby Ace's shirt. Maxie's son, whatever Maxie's youngest son's name is, I can't think of it right now. Anyway, Maxie's youngest son can fit that shirt. That shirt is for a child, not a baby. Oh my goodness. Wardrobe had mishaps today. Just misses, period. So she goes up to Carly and she goes, do you have a high chair? And first Carly looks at her, because remember, she did the revenge porn tape against Jocelyn, Carly's daughter. But Carly is realizing, okay, chick, you got amnesia. And that's your story, you sticking to it. I own the joint now. I'm going to give good customer service. So she goes and she goes coming right up. She gets a high chair. Esme sits down. She brings the high chair over. And she says, I'll bring you a menu, or she gives her a menu. And Esme says something to her, and I forget what it was. Nothing meaning worth me remembering. So she's gonna try to put Ace in the high chair. And then Elizabeth comes over and says, oh, he has gotten so big. And Esme looked at Elizabeth and said, yeah, the doctor says he's in the 98th percentile for his age. And I'm like, heck, yes, he is. And he's also in the 98th percentile for a child playing his age. Yeah, okay, girl. So anyway, Elizabeth goes back over because they're getting ready to leave to go to the softball game. So anyway, she's sitting there and Trina has got a bug up her butt. And Esme's gone. And Spencer he said something to her. He's got the food and he goes, what's wrong? And she's like, Spencer, Okay, this whole living thing with you and Esme, the lines are definitely getting blurred between you two. And Spencer's like, well, they're not getting blurred between me. He goes, I know who I want and I know who I'm with. I'm only here because of my baby brother. That's the only reason she spends any time with me. It has to do with Ace. And so Trina said, no, but she clearly thought the food was for her. And then you invited her to join us. He said, oh, that's because you know what? She did think the food was for her. And I didn't have the heart to tell her it wasn't. And I'm thinking, okay, that has nothing to do with Ace, right? So you should have let her know. No, this is for my girlfriend and me, right? So don't tell me you're only dealing with her, cohabitating with her because of Ace and you're co-parenting your little brother. She should not have even assumed that that food was for her. See, that's what DoorDash is for, Esme. You hungry? Order food to be delivered for you, right? And so Trina said, you know, this is just too much. He goes, Trina, you're the one I want. I did all this for you. As a matter of fact, wait here. So he goes upstairs and Trina's thinking, like, wait for what? And he comes back down and he gives her the gift that Cyrus gave her. And, you know, he says, my Uncle Cyrus, he says, last Christmas, I was in Pentonville. My Uncle Cyrus gave me this. And actually, Spencer got out the week before Christmas, if I can remember correctly. He got out early, 2 weeks early. Victor had him out because Cyrus was getting too close to him. And when I got out, she goes, yeah, but why did you never give this to me? He said, because when I got out, I didn't know how you felt about me and I didn't think you would want them. And so she opened it, she goes, they're turtle doves, you know? And he goes, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, my one psycho uncle gave me this to give to you. And I want to say, psycho uncle that held her hostage, her and her mama, right? Her and her mama held him hostage. And guess what, everybody? Didn't that have to do with Jordan and Taggart, Trina's father? That's interesting. So anyway, now, you know, but she's all off on Anna, Portia, all on Anna. So he says, and then I ended up leaving him at the table. He goes, when I got out, and he didn't say it, I saw you with Rory, your cop friend. He goes, but my Uncle Victor picked them up. And he gave them to me. He goes, my Uncle Victor gave these back to me. He goes, so now I got one psycho uncle gave them to me. Another psycho uncle held on to them and gave them back to me. So I see why you would not want these. He goes, oh, let me take these back, right? And so she goes, well, why did you hang on to them? He said, because every time I look at these, I think about how much I really wanted to be with you while I was in Shady Pentonville. I missed you so much. And so she goes, well, that's exactly why I'm going to keep them. She says here, she says, these are turtle doves. I'm going to give you one and I'm going to keep one. And he said, why? He said, because that means we belong together. So then they kiss again. And of course, I analyzed the kiss. And you guys are right. I guess I wasn't analyzing enough because we're talking she kissing bottom lip, he kissing upper lip this time. They vice versa. So I guess I won't. No, I'm going to keep inspecting. I ain't even going to say that lie. Every time they kiss, I'm going to be all in their mouths. Okay, so now we have Curtis. Curtis comes back to the Savoy. Nika brings the employees out. They all clap for him. They're happy he's back. He's uneasy. He's greeting customers in his wheelchair, telling them the bartender will be happy to talk about their specials. And TJ comes up and said, "Good to see you here, Uncle." And they fist bump each other. And uh, Jordan walks in. She goes, "Good to see you here, Curtis." And then Molly comes. And TJ and Molly said, "We've got some good news to share with you." And it's, the surrogate had the in vitro, and they'll know in 2 weeks if, it took and she's pregnant. They just wanted to share that news with them. So they all celebrated. And Curtis says, "Yeah, and Grandma Jordan." And Jordan looked, and she goes, "Look, I'll take it if that means I got 9 months to get used to it, and then there'll be a baby on the way." So I really didn't see TJ and Molly too much after this scene, thank goodness, because they don't match. They just really don't. Oh my goodness. So Jordan is saying, "So how you doing, Curtis?" And he goes, "It's kind of hard being back here. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, is this me now?" And Jordan said, "Curtis, you're a smart man. And you will decide if this is you. And I want you to know, I have your back. I will always have your back, Curtis." And she's like, "I hope you know I mean that." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I do, you know. And so she just, she really just, he's comfortable with Jordan, you know. So then he ends up wheeling himself to the back, and Nika comes and says, "Curtis, what you doing back here?" He said, "Well, I'm back here just figuring out my place in all of this and where do I fit in." And she goes, "Okay, well, it's good to have you back. I'm gonna get back out there." And he sits there, and he's probably gonna sell, because remember, everybody, when Curtis got back from Greenland, the Savoy really it wasn't enough for him. Remember, he even made the statement, he forgotten what excitement was all about, right? And Selena was telling him, "Yeah, I think you got that bug, you're gonna want more." She was trying to get the club then. So my whole thing is, if the Savoy is not for you, then sell it. And sell it to her. She will give him a good price for that. There is no shame in his game. Sell it to her. It doesn't matter what his father says. Bottom line, it's his wishes. And if it's not for him, it's not for him, realistically, right? So then, that was interesting. We'll see what he does with that. But so Jake gets a table by the little window, and he's sitting nervously. And then the door opens, and in comes Charlotte, right? He's gotten taller, definitely a teen now, and he was meeting her. They were sharing a sundae. And he was saying he painted a picture for her. It was of a horse, because he knows she loves riding horses. And she was like, "Cool." And they were talking about school or something. I forget what they were talking about. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute. How old are they making Charlotte now? And we haven't seen Aiden in forever, right? Because guess who's the same age? Charlotte and Jake's younger brother, Aiden. Remember, they were both in kindergarten together, Willow's class. Willow was their teacher. That was either kindergarten or first grade, probably first grade. And Charlotte was bullying Aiden. Now they've got her closer to the age of his older brother. Let's forget about she's the same age as his younger brother. That's interesting to me. Because in essence, okay, how many years are Aiden and Jake apart? Actually, probably 3 or 4. They're a good age difference, right? And they've got Charlotte here looking not even 2 years younger than Jake. Maybe 2 years younger than him. So if she's 13, he's 15. You know, if she's 14, he's 16. We'll have to see. You know, soaps, especially with teenagers, they tend not to say ages too much, you know, especially once they age them, because they did a big age jump on that girl. So that was cute. You know, now we see, uh-oh, got a little teen love interest going on, little teen love interest. So let's go to comment corner. There are 43 comments, everyone. I'm getting ready to turn on my trusty dusty timer. And this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go from the bottom up. A lot of the times I go from the top down, and when I go from the top down, it gets the most recent comments back. This time I'm going to get those that commented on the video first, and I'm going to get as far up as I possibly can. How does that sound for everyone? All right, let me scroll. Oh my goodness, I'm scrolling. My goodness gracious. Here we go. We have Lucy. She says, hi, lady. Always great to see you on my YouTube news feed. Friday's recap was your best so far. Keep up the good work. Why, thank you, Lucy. Ron says, there's an old saying, when you know you're right, nothing can stop you. Cody proved that today. Yes. And then Linda said, say that. She's co-signing to that. And then Lisa also tagged onto that comment saying, you're right. And then Anita says, I was so excited watching the scenes with Cody, Sasha, and the doctor. I was screaming, go, 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 when Cody and Sasha were in the car. Hopefully Cody gets in contact with Sam. This is becoming exciting finally. And then we have Anita saying, I wanted to slap Portia when she decided to walk Anna out. I was hoping Curtis would have opened the door and heard that witchy Portia, what she was saying to Anna. Don't come back to see my husband again. She is awful and so insecure. And Linda says to that comment, I'm hoping Curtis will walk away from her because Portia is too negative towards her peers. Portia thinks life is always sunshine and roses and that nothing bad will ever happen to her perfect life and perfect family. None. Well, she should also know not, because remember, Trina and Cameron were kidnapped. And that's when Jason and Curtis, once again, they had to come in and save them. And I think this Jason was when he was Drew. Drew thought he was Jason. And she hated Curtis for Taggart got shot. That's when they thought Taggart died, right? So don't talk about dangerous lifestyles and dangerous lives, Portia. Taggart brought plenty of danger to your daughter. Yet you don't think nothing about that. I am says he heard her. Curtis is going to leave again. P. Merrill says, where was all the righteous indignation when Curtis and the crew, including Anna, rescued Trina? Who would she blame if Curtis got shot in Greenland? Trina? No, she blamed Spencer because of Victor. She blamed Spencer, which she does blame Spencer. When Portia was having an affair with Curtis, he was in law enforcement. She was insecure and hypocritical. She is an insecure and hypocritical witch. But the thing is, see, Victor didn't take Trina. Trina snuck on that boat. Okay, she snuck on there. LaShunta says, yay, Cody, that nurse made me mad. Sasha asked for help. Yep, she did. Nina's dumb to give Gladys the money. Let her run her. Cody will put all the pieces together. I see Dante would still be getting Sasha drugged. I believe Ned is getting his memories back. He used to could sing. Just have a seat. Dex like Sonny. I'm over Eddie Main. That's why Nina's time is short. Ava and Nina thinks they're safe. And then Linda says, Nina did the right thing concerning the SEC, but she did it to get rid of Carly, and that will backfire on her, on Nina. Nina is just as dirty as her daughter Nell was, because Nell wanted to destroy Carly completely. And it almost worked until Jason rescued her from the shock treatment. Like the I like the actor who played Christina, because she's playing the heck out of that part. I believe Chrissy is bipolar because she is so hyper about what's happening in all areas of her life. Chrissy doesn't think before she speaks, and it causes conflict with whomever she is speaking with. She is Sonny's daughter, no doubt. I wonder how she's going to react with Nina's choice of turning Carly in. She'll probably give Nina a pass. Yes, she will, in a heartbeat. LaShunta says, I can't stand Portia. Anna is feeling bad enough. Ava was out of order. Why? Nina asking everyone for help. See, that's why Curtis won't want her now. And Cindy says, I'm glad Cody got Sasha out of there and left that Dr. Montague in his underwear. But how is he gonna, is he wearing a disguise? Is anyone's guess. Dr. Montague's suit seems to make the receptionist think Cody is him, even though he has a different face, voice, head and voice. And why didn't security stop them in the halls? I have yet to see securities in the halls there. Haven't you? Have you? That's how Montague is sneaking around every corner. Nobody's seeing him. That place has no security. And I think she was busy on the computer. She didn't look up until his back was to her with Sasha. And she just recognized the suit. And look, realize the other nurse that came in and says, wait, who was that? We always see her there. We rarely see any other nurses there. So this one may not have seen Montague a lot or really interacted with Montague that much, right? And so OBE says General Hospital got it right with Cody times Sasha. It's about time. It was hard seeing Sasha like that. The nerve of Nina. No words for Portia. Just can't stand her. And Stephanie says Portia is sickening and disgusting. Really don't like her. She'll get hers. And I am says Portia is going to destroy all of Curtis' relationships, because if it's not her way, it's no way. And then I am says, didn't help bring Trina home. They all went as a team, except Anna did come late. She snuck out the hospital. Well, she checked herself out the hospital. Portia won't try that ish with Carly. She tried in the beginning and Carly shut her down. Anna needs to snap out of her depression. Yeah, I remember when it was the old Trina actress, and they finally brought her mother to Portia as a doctor. She didn't like the fact, Jocelyn's family life. She snubbed her nose at that. She didn't want Trina to be around that. Now, mind you, Trina was on the show for 2 years before they ever showed her mother, so she didn't care then, right? At all. I am says, Joss isn't mob wife girlfriend material. Only Carly and Sam could do the job. But once Sam had kids, she chose a different path. Joss never had a hard life. She's judgmental like Jax, Portia, and the deputy mayor. Although the deputy mayor is Jordan now. Nomadic Colors says, glad you're still watching General Hospital. GH lost me about 2 months ago. Yep, I'm still watching it. Been watching it since I was a little kid. Richard says, another great review, Daily Recap Lady. I agree, Portia definitely switched her attitude when she's not in Curtis's presence. Deborah says, I'm glad Cody punched that doctor. I was so happy. I hope he finds help. Go to Nina. Tell Sonny. See, now Sonny's out of jail. Sonny can help now, but he will go to Sam, probably. Sheila says, I was on the same thought process as I watched Neddy. During the recording session, I felt his brain was beginning to unscramble and process all the information surrounding the incident when he was about to tell on Nina. And Stephanie says, Ned will soon return in time to blow up Sonny and Nina. Can't wait. Sheila also says, I hope Cody gets Sasha back without running into another crisis. As for stank face, hussy Portia, I know she is going on to on the defense against Anna. She or the new writers have forgotten that both her ex-husband and her current husband held dangerous jobs. It was Curtis that saved Trina from being kidnapped from Victor Cassadine, an extremely dangerous man. Yep, and it was Curtis who saved Trina from Cyrus Renault when Trina and Portia were kidnapped. And Laura, too, held hostage. They were actually held hostage. Linda says, you outdid yourself with this recap. Awesome review. Thank you, Linda. Let's see. Aletta says, I was like, yes, finally. Let him stay on the floor in his undies. And Susan says, let's see what Susan says. My two favorite scenes on Friday were Cody telling off Dr. Montague and Sasha learns that what Gladys were up to, he and Gladys were up to, and that Cody tied him up and put on Montague's clothes to get Sasha out of Ferncliff in that car. Hope he gets her to a safe house. And then Susan goes on and writes a phenomenal review, everybody. Come on over here and read this review. Let me see where I'm at right now with my daily recap time. Uh-oh, I'm past 10 minutes. How much more do I have to go? I think I can make it. Let's see. I'm out of time, but let's rush through this. Sabrina says, hi, Daily Recap Lady. Your recap today was so good. Thank you for pointing out the fact that the drugs should be in Crazy Doc's pocket and that Olivia was part of Nettie's song. Yeah, at the end. Regarding Nettie, I have noticed, like you, about him. I thought he remembered something when his son told him about the words. I have to compliment the sub-writers on today's episode. You're right. They did a great job. I'm going to kind of skip on up here. Dacia says, Chad and Maurice are leaving General Hospital. I don't know about that. If Michael and Sonny both leave GH, Jason Morgan isn't around anymore. If Sonny goes to prison, Sonny ain't going to prison. He got off today. Another Bob Boss will come in. The Quintos family will be in danger. Dex will leave GH2. I don't know. I think those are some bad rumors. Maurice, the show is about Maurice Bernard. Really, right? And I don't think Michael's leaving either, right? Acting jobs are too few and far between. Lisa says Dr. Montague was caught in his lies. He didn't put Cody together with his poker games with Gladys. No, nobody knew. Nobody probably ever noticed Cody. And Gladys never talked about Cody Bell. You know, like, oh, I hate him over there. I hate him. And tell Montague, that's because she never did. She was so busy losing. She didn't talk about him. Plus, Wu told him, you all better stall that animosity. I don't want to see or hear about it. And Lisa says, love that Cody got Sasha out of there. The doctor kept those syringes. One stuff he called different, having the memory wipe stuff. He called another person to deliver it to him. Lisa says, Leo is so adorable. He and Olivia listening to Nettie sing. I wished she would have joined him in singing. She has a beautiful voice. I know. That may have jogged his memory if he heard her sing. Lisa says, Nina better listen to Ava and hear what she is saying about becoming a mob wife. Lisa also says Carly is going to talk to Sonny and find out Sonny set up this mess. Well, it wasn't a mess. He was trying to catch who's the boss, who's out to get him. Lisa says, it will be stupid of the doctor to go after Sam. He will find out who he's messing with. And she also says, thank you, what? Thank you, Daily Recap Lady, for an awesome review. And Annette says, in my opinion, Pretty Lady Gladys, not sure how to spell it, will find out Nina's secret and blackmail her. That would be interesting. Nakisha says, I'm sure that they filmed Sasha's scenes ahead of time. I think she's back now, but her break was disguised by her isolation scenes and the doctor. Could have been. They could have taped a whole bunch of that together and used it because he kept drugging her way too much. So yeah, that could be. That could be. Well, you know what? I went ahead, even though that was 14 minutes worth of comment corner. But I wanted to, when the story is getting good, we all want to talk about it, don't we? And it was pretty good today too. So I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.